It's raining and it's pouring, but no one is snoring here on a sopping, soggy Thursday afternoon, live from TST in Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. Our next matchup is game number 62 of 134, and it's a Group H matchup featuring Bumpy Pitch and La Mexicana Express. Folks, my name's Christian Filliman. This is my 11th call here with you, so hopefully you know who I am. If not, allow myself to reintroduce myself. I will be with you for all these games here on Field 4, and hopefully they all go by really quickly because this rain is going to continue to come down. Before we introduce our two teams really quickly, the rules: 7v7, two 20-minute halves of running clock, no offside, no slide tackles, no throw-ins, more importantly, no ties. Every game ends in a game winner, and these are two teams that are looking to potentially move forward into the knockout stages of the TST. This is the final game in the group stages. Now, let's get to know our teams really quickly. Bumpy Pitch is a team that consists of a lot of MASL players. That is the Major Arena Soccer League, folks. They are coached by a former MASL Coach of the Year, Jimmy Nordberg, and Clay Roberts, who has an extensive resume playing indoor. They are a lifestyle brand who have some unbelievable threads and garments, as we see the first shot of the game denied by La Mexicana Express's Julian Cruz Rodriguez. But if you like the kit that you see, Ben Hooper, the man who created it, Bumpy Pitch likes to mesh art, culture, music into their brand. And on the other side of the pitch, La Mexicana Express. This is a team that consists of players that have a lot of history competing in cash prize tournaments. As far as where they are in the standings, Bumpy Pitch is 1-1. La Mexicana Express has yet to win a game. But under these conditions, obviously Mother Nature has made it very equal for both sides. The player that I want y'all to focus on La Mexicana Express is number 8, Garrett Bloom. Garrett Bloom is one of the top scorers in the TST historically. Back in the inaugural season for Jackson, Tennessee Boom, Garrett Bloom, punched through the back of the net on 6 occasions. So he has a history of success here at the TST. For Bumpy Pitch, the player to keep an eye on as he's coming out onto the pitch right now is number 10, Charlie Gonzalez. They call him Charlie Golasso in the Major Arena Soccer League. He features for a team called the San Diego Sockers, the Lords of Indoor, one of the most successful indoor soccer teams in the history of the sport. As we see Charlie Gonzalez head that one over. The run automatically here. Very quick opportunity. The pass in. Opportunity denied. Is it a goal? It is. Scored by number 9, Christian Martinez Borja. Borja had himself a heck of a game for Bumpy Pitch just the other day against another lifestyle brand in that of Saturday's football. So right out of the gates, Bumpy Pitch taking care of business here. The starting keeper for Bumpy Pitch is Brandon Gomez. Gomez had played at Vanguard University and is currently rostered with the MASL's Empire Strikers. For La Mexicana Express, Julian Cruz Rodriguez is in between the sticks. La Mexicana Express wearing the white kits with the red shorts. Bumpy Pitch wearing the greens, the very stylish greens. And again, I can't help but shout out Ben Hooper. Not because I know him, but because he's an incredible designer who resurrected a brand that he'd started ages ago, but now is finally back into focusing in on it. And he's done a good job with these really, really sexy soccer kits. 1-0 currently the score as Bumpy Pitch's Christian Martinez Borja finds the back of the net very early on. We told you a little bit about the rules of the TST. The conditions are what they are, as Munir Olami was looking over at the official, wanting to get a foul as he felt that he got pushed. Our officials, John Matto wearing the pink, and on the sideline, Brandon Marion. And I can't say that I envy them, as this is going to be a wet and wild one here. Despite the fact that Mother Nature is raining down on this Coachella-like soccer festival here in Cary, North Carolina. The crowd's still pretty healthy. If there's anybody out there who's an entrepreneur, might be a good idea to start a poncho business because we're getting soaked down here. Cesar Cerda puts the ball into play. Over to Munir Alami. And by the way, with explicit instructions, Cesar Cerda told me to tell his wife and his family hello. So shout out to the Cerda family. Cerda, a member of the San Diego Sockers, along with Charlie Gonzalez, along with Mitchell Cardenas, along with Christian Gutierrez. In comes Mustafa Guy on the attack. Mustafa Guy is featured for the United States Arena team and is currently employed by the Empire Strikers. What is the Empire? Well, technically it's a region in Southern California, a county, if you will, called the Inland Empire. The Inland Empire is a community that is not very far from Los Angeles proper, and it has a team called the Empire Strikers that have most recently been in the news as of late because of their head coach Onu Obasi and his time, not only at Newtown Pride, but the success that the Empire Strikers have had. And that was the team that legendary Mexican footballer Marco Fabian played for. Cerda over on the right wing. Pushes it back. There we see Mitchell Cardenas wearing the number 17, looking to crash into the box. There's an attempt, and that one goes out and off the mark. So La Mexicana Express got shell-shocked really quickly when Bumpy pitches. Borja found the back of the net. Alan Perez, a member, one-time member of UC Riverside. UC Riverside, for those that follow the United States men's national team, was once the home of Aaron Long, who is currently employed by the Los Angeles Football Club. And Aaron Long wearing the captain's armband for LAFC. Pass comes in and towards that midfield. Jesus Molina currently with it. Goes back over to Cerda. Cerda into Cardenas. Actually, Cardenas lets it through to go to Brandon Gomez. Brandon Gomez back over to Molina. La Mexicana Express intercepts. And that was Miguel Angel Fuertes who made the defensive play to lead Mexicana Express out on this run. Sticking with it, but taken away. Recovered by Adrian Canto, and back over to Cruz Rodriguez. Over from the midfield, Jonathan Lima. Over to number 18, Miguel Ordonez. Bumpy pitch. Lost a heartbreaker to Sneaky Fox late last night. In fact, Bumpy pitch. They defeated Saturday's football in their first game by a score of 3-1. They dropped 5-3 to Sneaky Fox. La Mexicana Express lost 3-1 to Sneaky Fox and lost 4-1 to Saturday's football. So looking for their first win of the group stages as Barahana goes down. Duvier Orlando Riascos Barahana. We know that footballers, soccer players are very well traveled, but Barahana has played in China. He's played in Mexico. He's played in Bolivia. He's played in Chile. He's played in Mexico. He's played in Venezuela. The stamps that he have on his passport, incredible. A free kick opportunity here for Bumpy pitch. And looking back, I am very thankful because at one point I thought we were going to lose the game clock as power had gone out. But auxiliary power is a beautiful thing. A shot, a screamer, almost. And that one comes out of play. Aggressive hustle. And Miguel Angel Fuertes has made a couple of plays. Played with RB Salzburg in Austria, along with Querétaro in Liga MX. Also spent some time in Germany playing for Freiburg. Freiburg, a team who has been on the up and up in the Bundesliga. As Gomez looking to go all the way down the pitch, trying to connect with Ernesto Espinosa. Espinosa, I believe, had the game winner in target score time for Bumpy Pitch's only win. Oh, and now that I realize who the keeper is, I know the keeper for La Mexicana Express. Shot saved by Gomez. Sorry, I just I had my squirrel moment. Julian Rodriguez, one of the strongest keepers in the Major Arena Soccer League. Didn't recognize him at one point. And I feel bad. Again, bad broadcaster. There he is as he makes the play. Very familiar with a lot of the players within the Major Arena Soccer League. He's an up-and-coming goaltender in the MASL. The Express trying to get it out of their defensive end of the pitch. Pass comes in, taken away. Back over to Juan Gonzalez. I'm sorry. Having a tough time seeing things here, folks. Jose Gonzalez, Bebe, who plays for the Empire Strikers. Had to double check something there as Brandon Gomez has it, looking to settle his team. Andy Reyes calling for it on the right side. Andy Reyes just recently got back from Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, as he was with the United States World Mini Football Team. He's been traveling a lot lately. We joked about the difficulty he had in getting to Baku from Southern California. But it was a lot easier for him to get to Cary, North Carolina. That goes without saying. On the run, that one sails above the crossbar. Ambitious effort here by Bumpy Pitch. Julian Rodriguez rolling it back into the field of play, the battlefield. Pass comes in at number 17, Cyrus Harmon. Harmon played in USL with the Des Moines Menace. Des Moines Menace getting a bit of love lately as MLS pundit Sasha Kleshchin, along with Bradley Wright Phillips, had played there recently. There's a shot that sails above the crossbar by Rodriguez. I had the opportunity to interview Bradley Wright Phillips a couple of weeks ago on a show called Soccer in 60 that we do in Southern California, and he was joking about the fact that, his days of playing are done, but it was really nice to get back out onto the field with players that he's competed with. Bradley Wright Phillips, of course, playing with Sasha Kleshchin in Harrison, New Jersey for the New York Red Bull. And speaking of Red Bull, I've had plenty here, and that's been keeping me going. My wings are on. About 7 minutes and 52 seconds remaining here within the first half. As it stands right now, Bumpy Pitch currently sitting in the catbird seat, courtesy by a goal of Christian Martinez Borja. Pressure being applied to Brandon Gomez. He gets it out to Cesar Cerda. Cerda trying to connect with Munir Alami. The header. Alami recovers. Over to Mitchell Cardenas, who chested. A nice touch. Alami, who played professionally in Morocco before coming out to the United States, where he was in the top 3 considerations for newcomer of the year in the Major Arena Soccer League. Munir Alami is just getting his arena career started and getting things going here, playing on the 7v7 side in Cary, North Carolina. Cary, a gracious host. I believe the revenue that TST has been stating is anywhere between 9 and 30 million in revenue's been coming in, or will be coming in, or anticipated, I should say, to come in within the next 6 days. And yes, that is a very wide range. But for a tournament it's still within its infancy, a very impressive stat nonetheless. Julian Rodriguez, the keeper for the Baltimore Blast, set to put the ball into play. Chested, but intercepted by Cerda. That was number 15, Nicholas Kushenko. And that's a goal! Que golazo! Que golazo indeed! Bumpy Pitch, Alan Perez, say hello to everybody in Cary, North Carolina. Get a little bit of that Petey Pablo. Take his shirt off, wave it upside the head just like a helicopter. Unbelievable goal. Bumpy pitch now currently up by a score of 2-0. On the run. The bounce. And that comes off. Take a bow, Alan Perez. Just waiting on that official confirmation. Congratulations again to Alan Perez. Gomez has Perez to his left. Taken away by Jonathan Lima. Jonathan Lima played in the USL. At one point contracted to play with a club that never saw the light of day. Queensboro FC was set to be a thing. They were going to play in Jamaica, Queens. But once MLS Next Pro was announced, NYCFC ended up with an MLS Next team, which was the end of Queensboro FC. And that has a tie into a team here at the TST tournament. In fact, it was Saturday's Football, that lifestyle brand that Bumpy Pitch beat yesterday, that was designing the kits. In fact, that was the front of the kit sponsor for Queensboro FC. And I bring that up again because of number 4, Jonathan Lima on La Mexicana Express. Under 5 to go. Brandon Gomez. Brandon Gomez calmly gets it up top, but intercepted. There's Jonathan Lima, the aforementioned player, still sticking with it. Going backward towards the midfield. Ball comes into the box. Oh, that looked like it came not necessarily out of play, but it looked like it came off of the hands of Miguel Ordóñez Rodriguez. Rodriguez playing with Chacarita Juniors in the Argentinian second tier. The fun part of doing research is learning about some of these second-tier teams in countries such as Argentina and Brazil. We all know the big ones. We know the Bocas, the River Plates. Sometimes learning about the second-tier teams is also fun because there's some passionate fan bases in so many towns scattered all across South America who don't have the opportunity to see the light of day. And so now we have a chance to shout out Chacarita Juniors in that second tier in Argentina. So to any of our friends watching in Argentina, we say hello. Or buenos tardes in this case. 3 minutes and 20. Pass comes back to Brandon Gomez. Gomez over to Gonzalez. Pass gets dropped off. Edgar Castillo Carrillo. Actually, no, I believe it was Castillo who got the game winner. I should remember this. I called the game the other day. But with this being, I think, game number 12, sometimes some of these things blend into one another. Back over to Lima. Lima going left. Cerda heads it into the midfield. Picked up by Mustafa Guy. He's lovingly known around the indoor world as Momo. Another well-traveled player, originally from Dakar, Senegal. Played collegiately in Indiana. Molina over to Gomez. He's being confronted very aggressively by Nicholas Kushenko and forces the errant turnover. See some San Diego Loyal kits in the house, talking about clubs that no longer exist. Yellow right now. Oh. Hello, folks, and welcome back. We want to apologize for any technical difficulties that you may have experienced. At some point, I was told that I went out, but I still kept yapping anyway. So the torrential downpour that we're seeing here in Cary, North Carolina, not only affecting the play on the pitch, but clearly affecting everything here at TST. So we got that up and running, and we're happy to come back here and give you this call where the score currently sits Bumpy pitch 3, La Mexicana Express 0, as Randy Martinez goes back over to the midfield. I'm sorry, 2-0. Apologies. Well, the lack of a scoreboard confused even me. Randy Martinez starting to make a name for himself in the world of indoor. Had a tryout, actually featured for the United States arena soccer team, and had a breakout season in his sophomore year at the Empire Strikers, and a near header. That was a close call. It was a brilliant cross by Martinez. It just went off the wrong end of the head of number 12, Luciano Ramirez Rubio. Sorry about that, folks. We had to trigger in the cough button, and clearly that one works. Munir Alami back to his keeper, and we do have a keeper change. As Brandon Gomez is no longer in between the pipes. And Charlie Gonzalez set to put the ball back in play. Goes over to Mitchell Cardenas. Cardenas back to his keeper. Cardenas back over. His keeper. So yeah, it's been raining consistently here in Cary. We were told that there was a 20 or so % chance of lightning, which would obviously put a stop in play. But as long as the rain continues, we're going to have action because we got to get through these rounds. We got to get through the knockout phase. We got to get to the knockout phase. Eventually we will. But if there is any lightning, that's certainly going to throw a wrench. Pass intended. Great touch by Martinez. Martinez keeps it in. We've been told by our production staff that moderate and heavy rain is covering a good portion of the state of North Carolina. My colleagues here had mentioned it hadn't rained quite like this in the past several weeks. This is a lot of rain that they're experiencing here. And with rain, of course, comes humidity, something Californians don't have a concept of because of the desert climate. And I bring that up because members of Bumpy Pitch, for the most part, are all from California, in some way, shape, or form competing in the leagues there. La Mexicana Express looking to claw one back here as the score currently sits at 2-0. So we're about almost 4 minutes into the second half. Cross in, headed. Munir Alami on the counter. Alami was wide open in the center of the box for a split second. But that one gets poked back and away. Randy Martinez leading the charge now for La Mexicana Express. And that shot is off target. Randy Martinez is hearing it from one of his teammates who was open on the right, but I don't think Martinez had that angle, as Brian Moya Sanchez, who played at Ecuador FC, was stating his case that he was wide open on that right for what would have been a nice angle at goal. Charlie Gonzalez back over to Christian Gutierrez. Golden Gutierrez is what they call him in San Diego. Passed over to Cerda. Cerda over, attacking the box, poked out of play. Number 8, Barahana, was on the charge. Alan Perez, who scored a heck of a goal earlier. We have a goalkeeper change as well for La Mexicana Express as a whistle gets blown out onto the pitch as Cesar Cerda trying to help. Is that Garrett Bloom? Yes, it is. Those two players know each other for a number of years now, playing for rival teams in the Major Arena Soccer League. So this game very well within the grasp, within the reach of La Mexicana Express, and they're looking for their first win here within the group setting, Group H. That comes off of the head of Cerda as Charlie gets it over to Mustafa Guy. La Mexicana Express regains possession. Through ball intercepted. Opportunity here really quickly, and we have a goal! Scored by number 10 of Bumpy Pitch, Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie Gonzalez didn't necessarily need the golazo as he found that easy part within the center of the goal and just calmly and coolly puts it past the keeper. And now Bumpy Pitch goes up by a commanding score of 3-0. We told you to take a look and keep an eye on Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie Gonzalez, a playmaker extraordinaire, one of the best midfielders in the Major Arena Soccer League. He not only contributes to his teammates, he certainly has a flair for the dramatics when it comes to goals as well. And while that one wasn't as dramatic of a screamer as we've seen from him in the past, it was effective. And effective is what needs to happen. Long attempt. Keeper to keeper as we have two new keepers in the game to start the second half. I'm slowly thinking here about how I can get my umbrella business underway. So I'd be making a killing right here at the TST with the amount of rain that we're seeing. Shot saved! Another opportunity and a goal. La Mexicana Express managed to claw one back here. A quick answer. Went for off that Bumpy Pitch third goal, and the goal scored by number 12, Luciano Ramirez Rubio. It is now 3-1 with that goal that Rubio scored. La Mexicana Express find themselves now only down by 2. Rubio played for the Monterrey Tigers. And I know that's somewhat confusing for Liga MX fans, as Monterrey and Tigres are two teams in the beautiful city of Monterrey. Another shot, that one just misses, ever so close to being another one to claw back. 3-1 is where the score stands with 12 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. Pressure on Bumpy Pitch's keeper. And that one is going to be out of play. La Mexicana Express set to put it back in to play. See Munir Alami calling for his teammates to come out to help him defensively. Back to the keeper. Calling for it was Pedro Ciccarelli. And the header from Lopez did not find anybody. Munir Alami. Munir Alami chips it ahead. And that was a valiant effort. And a good attempt. As Leroy Nzagusi checks into the game. Nzagusi played with the Sporting Kansas City Academy. Shot saved! Thus far, the save of the game between both sides. So we're approaching the halfway point, and as we're approaching that halfway point, we're very close to what's called target score time. And what target score time is, to the neophytes, because we know the veterans know this, target score time is a fun and nuanced part of TST, and basically it's game-winning goals. That's what makes this tournament exciting. And so the target score is +1 from what the leader's tally has. So it's 3 goals right now. Bumpy pitches in the lead. The target score would be 4. That's if this result holds. And so what that means is Bumpy pitch would only need 1 goal to win the game. Of course, La Mexicana Express would need to get to 4, so that would mean they would need 3 more goals. A lot of teams have made their comeback in target score time. In fact, we've seen a lot of teams that were down by 3 only to come back and win in target score time by scores of 4-3. It'll remain 7v7 as 3 minutes expire, and if the result hasn't come through, a player gets removed from each side. So 7v7 turns into 6v6. Another 3 minutes, 6v6 turns into 5v5. So on and so forth, but never less than 2. Gutierrez. That one nearly gets intercepted back by Golden Gutierrez. Up top, near one-on-one opportunity here. Shot, what a goal! Clawing back another goal for La Mexicana Express is Pedro Chicarelli with the goal celebration of the tournament thus far. Que golazo and que athleticism. That was fun, although I would say with how wet this pitch is, that was a little dangerous, but he's on top of things. Pedro with the golazo, and it is now 3-2. So we've got ourselves a game. As Bumpy pitch goes up by 3, 2 quick answers from La Mexicana Express. Bumpy pitch, 1-1 so far in the group stage, Mexicana Express. Winless. A win here for the team from New York City, La Mexicana Express, would really create a problem for head coach Jimmy Nordberg's side as they are looking to advance out of the group stage and into the knockout. Pass up top. Could this be the 4th one? Player down in the box. No foul called. We play on. See Gonzalez advancing up top along with Mustafa Guy. Cardenas. And somehow, Yair Cotrino gets by one of the best defenders in the Major Arena Soccer League. Brilliant pass up to Mustafa Guy. Momo has it, although he's pushed far to the right by Luciano Ramirez Rubio, who really got the scoring started here moments ago for the Express. So 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here. Picked off by Alan Perez. Alan Perez scored a banger back in the first half to put Bumpy pitch up by a score of 2-0. Passing to Andy Reyes. Oh, clear opportunity here. Could this be it? A goal! The equalizer is scored. The Express are off and running. 3 unanswered goals by La Mexicana Express, and the man that create that equalizer is number 14, Junior Sandoval Lopez. Bumpy pitch was comfortable for a moment with a 3-0 lead, but now 7 minutes remain. And if this result holds, target score time will only be basically next goal wins. So it's like they're back on the playgrounds playing the street soccer if that's the case. Momentum now favoring the Express. Martinez threads it through. Another one potentially? No, but knocking on the door. There we see the relentless pressure as Randy Martinez is going to be whistled for the foul. He was surprised. He thought he got it clean. Official thinks otherwise. And the official wanting that restart to occur again. Gutierrez into Cerda. Cerda going to look to take it himself. And that one gets clipped above. I don't know if Cerda was looking for Borja or if Borja got into the way. But either way, that was really close to being goal number 4. With the way the rain is pouring and with the way the clouds look, it doesn't feel like it's 3:40 here on the East Coast. Feels like we're closer to 7:30. That one takes a bounce. And Brandon Gomez checks back into the game. Jimmy Norberg saw enough from his backup keeper. Gomez, who was maintaining that clean sheet in the first half, is back into the game. So he thought about rolling it over into Gutierrez. Into Borja. Clipped over into Gutierrez, who has Alami. At least momentarily, he had Munir Alami open to the right of him. Borja was in that center part of the box, but the big-bodied Nicholas Kushenko kept him away. Alami battling in that midfield. Can the Express continue on with this offensive activity that they've exhibited as of late? The second half is clearly theirs. 3 unanswered goals after being down 3-0. And for those that aren't fans of soccer but enjoy high-scoring games, the TST is for you. Arena soccer is for you. Beach soccer is for you. Futsal is for you. And there are players on this pitch that are stars in every shape and form of the small-sided game. Cleared. Picked right back up. Bumpy pitch. The pass in. And the goal! Bumpy pitch finds the back of the net. Leroy Nzagousi. Say hello. You have punched your name in the offensive stat sheet for this game. Bumpy pitch, while experiencing 3 unanswered goals from La Mexicana Express, managed to regain the lead courtesy a Sporting Kansas City Academy product, former Sporting Kansas City Academy product, I should say, Leroy Nzagousi. Nzagousi, the 2016 Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Iowa. Very impressive. To be named the Player of the Year in any state is incredible. And so now we get to know his name here in Cary, North Carolina. So we just get in the public address announcer's official confirmation. It was Nzagousi. So Bumpy pitch up 4-3. Does the Express have an answer? That one comes out of play. Quick play in to number 18, Miguel Ordóñez Rodriguez. Ball comes into the box. Rodriguez in. And floated. And just to the right of Brandon Gomez. But it's going to stay on this side of the pitch as La Mexicana does have an opportunity with a corner here. So we've already explained the target score time rules as we're getting closer and closer to it. So if this result holds, I didn't want to jinx it right there, but there is no such thing as the broadcaster's curse. The target score would be 5. Pass up top. Could this be another one? What a save. That was close. As Axl Rose once said on the Use Your Illusion album, he was knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. And yes, I know that wasn't Guns N' Roses' original. Nowadays, what is original? Just heard a cover of a Neil Diamond song in a techno version earlier on today. 120 ticks of the game clock remaining. Gomez over to Cerda. Cerda into Reyes. Andy Reyes back over to Gomez. Gomez outside of his box, seeing a sea of white kids start to converge. Headed out back into the midfield. And back over to Gomez. 90 seconds remaining. And tough touch recovered by Randy Martinez. Martinez. Oh. And Alan Perez, a teammate of Randy Martinez's, goes right through the TST sign. But he's back up and running. It's a good thing that those boards are a bit malleable. I think I used the word correctly. I'm going to have to go to the Internet Dictionary at the conclusion of this ball game to figure that one out. 57 seconds remain. Pass comes into Martinez. Martinez going back to his keeper. Pressure from Perez. Wide open net if Bumpy Pitch can recover. Momo Guy back over. Gutierrez is going to launch one. And it takes the bounce out of play. 34 seconds. I could tell you for a fact, folks, I've called some Christian Gutierrez from a location and a distance very similar to where he had that opportunity moments ago. Getting closer to target score time. And so that's going to be Bumpy Pitch's ball. But we're getting close, and the clock's ticking. Running clock. So I'm out of the official's way, as I was told not to get in front of the scoreboard because the main scoreboard's getting a bit wet. And that is official confirmation. We are done with regulation, folks. That means we got some TST, some dynamite. But I don't mean the soccer tournament. I mean target score time. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, we got the TST, target score time. And moments away from it. Back in a moment. Welcome back for the start of target score time here on Field 4. Soggy and beat up Field 4. Target score time. Department of Redundancy Department is back to tell you all about it. The target score is 1 goal plus of the leader's tally. So in this case, it's 5. Why? Because the score is 4-3 in favor of Bumpy Pitch. Bumpy Pitch needs 1 goal to win. La Mexicana Express needs 2. And so that's the way it's going to end, with the game winner. And that game winner is going to get what's called a golden fleece. I'll tell you about that as we declare the game winner. But it's going to start 7v7. And after 3 minutes, if nobody wins, then one player from each side of the pitch gets removed. Then we go to 6v6. If it happens again, so on and so forth. So we've explained the rules. And the rules are fun. Down in the box goes Borja. And not sure who that is complaining to the official right now. I don't see the number. It's number 20. Adrian Canto, he's going to be shown a yellow card. And this is an opportunity potentially for Bumpy Pitch to close this one out. It was just, looks like, was it just outside the box? All right, so getting ready to take it is Christian Martinez Borja. Borja already with the goal today. Can he have the space. Will we have the opportunity? Will he be the Golden Fleece winner? No. Not in that set of circumstances. Ball ricochets and goes back to Cerda. Cerda to his teammate in the indoor world, Gonzalez. Over to the right. Carrillo. Through ball. Espinosa. Espinosa into Charlie. Charlie Gonzalez with a shot. Oh, what a save! Charlie Gonzalez was getting ready to put the final nail in the coffin of La Mexicana Express, but he got denied with what thus far has been the save of the game. Pass coming into Cerda. Trying to find Borja. Martinez kicks it up in the air. 50-50 ball. Recovered by the Express. And fancy maneuvering by Lopez trying to get by Cerda, but Cerda recovers as Brandon Gomez gets it in the air. The touch from Martinez. Back over to his teammate Canto and over to the keeper to reset, readdress, and reassess. Pass comes into Sanchez. Sanchez into Martinez. Martinez has Lopez open to the right of him. And that one deflects right off of Cerda into a fan who's walking around this wet grass barefoot. And I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous of him right now. That seems very pleasant at this moment. So we're seconds away from going 6v6. Cardenas into Gomez. Gomez launches one with Alami as the intended target. Alami goes to his right. Pass comes in to number 22. Charging into the box was Andy Reyes. The Express on the run. Gomez with the kick save, denies Kishenko. Tripping up on it up there for a moment was Miguel Angel Fuertes Hernandez. Okay, folks. Now we get into where the target score time gets interesting because a player gets removed. So 7v7 now, 6v6. Can Bumpy pitch close this one out? Because the only thing that's been bumpy is them allowing La Mexicana Express back into the game. Bumpy pitch was up by a score of 3-0. The Express fought back, had an equalizer, but then Borja puts the arena team, can't call them the arena boys essentially because I believe that might be trademarked for the indoor players that play for Concafa, but Bumpy pitch manages to go back up, score 4-3. Looking to close this one out and potentially move on into the knockout stage. Gomez, this time facing no pressure. Into Gutierrez. Now we're seeing the rain go sideways. And that doesn't favor, along with the wind, it doesn't favor the direction for Gomez. Borja over to Charlie. Charlie feeds Gutierrez. Gutierrez with the turnaround, the shot. Ball is saved into the box. Gonzalez was sandwiched in between two Express players. Hernandez and Martinez. Pass into Borja. Borja looked for the turnaround. A quick fire is what a target forward would do, but well outside of the box. Gomez to Cerda, who checks back in. About a minute and 20 seconds away from going 5v5. Gomez to Borja. Tough touch. Opts to go back to his keeper. Into Cerda. The run. Bumpy pitch somehow still hanging on to it. There it is, Borja. The turnaround. Just didn't have enough oomph behind it. Easy save for La Mexicana Express's keeper. And that's Hector Lomeli, by the way, wearing number 1. Played with Mexico FC. He's going to roll it out to Martinez. Martinez back. So still waiting on that elusive target score of 5 to occur. The road is a lot easier for Bumpy Pitch. Bumpy Pitch scores, they win. Mexicana Express needs 2. The shot, and that comes off and out of play. Give a shout out to all our friends from the Major Arena Soccer League watching as that shot well above the crossbar from Rubio. Now we got a lot of MASL folks tuning into this broadcast, and for good reason. And tuning into this tournament for that matter, because there are, I believe, over 120 players from the Major Arena Soccer League here at this tournament. In fact, everywhere I've been going, plenty of names I recognize, plenty of players I recognize, plenty of fans I recognize. So while I'm no stranger to Cary, North Carolina, it certainly feels good to not be a stranger here, or here amongst friends. Not a stranger, folks, just strange. Cerda to his right. Seeing Borja bodying up on his defender back there. Borja sitting with just one person in front of him, or behind him now. It's been an interesting battle. No foul. Counterattack opportunity here for the Express. Could this be the equalizer? That was close, but excellent defense by Gonzalez. Denying what could have been a one-on-one opportunity with a man who's already found the back of the net today, and that of Pedro Ciccarelli. Cerda moves the ball up into Borja. Borja into Gonzalez. Gonzalez back over to Cerda in the midfield. Just looking to create some space and find a gap. Pass intended for Cerda, but Hernandez gets in the way. And Lomeli kicks that one up and out of play. I think there was some confusion there, as for a moment there was nobody back. Borja's shot. Look at the defense by Martinez. Lomeli's going to have to get him around after this match is over, considering the fact that Martinez got in the way and made Lomeli's job a lot easier. Cardenas over to Gomez. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you how hard it's raining. What you see on your screens pales in comparison to what we see on this field. We have 2 teams that are battling, though. 2 teams that are hungry and in need of a win. That pot of gold at the end of this soccer rainbow gets closer, but to get closer to it, you have to come out of the group stages. Bumpy Pitch wants to. Bumpy Pitch, who were really rebranded from a company called or a team called Tranquilo last season, would like to get out of the group stages. Jimmy Norberg, along with Clay Roberts, coaching this team, trying to propel them out of this stage. So Gomez looking over at that clock. And so, official getting close to where he's going to have to blow that whistle. Cardenas. And there it is. All right, so one more comes off for each team. Oh, this is getting fun. Some wet and wild fun here in Cary, North Carolina. Cary with a population of around 180,000 as per a census in 2023. The 145th most populous city in the United States. and I believe 7th in the state of North Carolina. So Bumpy pitch is really looking to go to Borja. Just trying to find a way to get it to him. Because he's being marked incredibly aggressively by Adrian Canto. Canto sticking directly to him as if his life depended on it. And technically, as far as his soccer life is concerned, really does depend on it. Gomez. The shot. And that's going to go past field 4 and into the VIP area of one of the main pitches. Space to run for Lopez. Junior Sandoval Lopez. Pass back to Martinez. Martinez has gotten a lot of touches and a lot of playing time here for the Express. So the keeper coming out as an attacker. As we start to get into this stage, we've seen time and time again the keeper's getting pulled for an extra attacker. But if the keeper's good with his feet and can score, why not utilize him in that capacity? Quick Goal did it yesterday with Hugo Silva. Sneaky Fox likes to do that with Chris Toth. In fact, West Ham would like to do that with Brian Orozco as well. And Clayson DeLima. Martinez to Lomeli. Lomeli put on the brakes as he saw Serta charging in. Martinez back over to Lomeli. Pass in on the left side. Shot right into the breadbasket of Gomez. Lopez on La Mexicana Express was open on that far post. But Brandon Gomez gets in the way. Now we're starting to face the wind. And that wind is starting to blow into us here at this tent. So it's not only going to be the players on the pitch that are getting wet or the audience. It's people like myself that are hiding under a tent, trying to avoid the elements that Mother Nature is throwing at us. Mother Nature woke up this morning very angry because the rain hasn't stopped really since it started. We joked about 2 people that go through life, or at least our lifetimes, undefeated. One being Father Time, the second, of course, being Mother Nature. And so with the way the wind's blowing, a long shot fired from the Bumpy pitch side would certainly curl in a different direction. It's a size 5 ball that's being used right now. Miter, the official sponsor of the game ball used here at the TST. Gonzalez with some fancy footwork, but he backtracks and goes. Hernandez stuck with him. So one more player to be removed off the pitch for each side. We're up to 3v3. So this is only going to happen one more time because we're not going to go any lower than 2v2. So we talked about this earlier. The keeper gets pulled for Bumpy pitch. Brandon Gomez heads to the Pine Pony. Charlie Gonzalez is going to operate as that extra attacker. This could be something that benefits Bumpy pitch, but could also be the death of them in this case. Not necessarily the death because the Express do need 2. Gonzalez is going to meticulously look to slice his way into the box. He has Andy Reyes to the left of him. And they're playing a little tiki-taka back and forth. Look for Reyes to crash in. Potential pass in on that far right post. Charlie's shot just misses. And Charlie's going to track back really quickly. We're going to look to see if Jimmy Nordberg is going to look to bring in his keeper, Brandon Gomez. Brandon Gomez quickly sprinting back onto the pitch. And so now we're going to have an extra attacker for the Express. So not a Penny, just a different-looking kid. Hernandez. Now, because that's a different-looking kid, number 19 is reserved for Randy Martinez, but Randy Martinez has it. So there's no way Randy Martinez can pass to Randy Martinez because he can't clone himself. So if that individual scores, I'm going to apologize in advance because I don't know his number. That's Randy Martinez's number. And speaking of which, the actual Randy Martinez with it. The Express have crashing into the box is Hernandez. Bumpy pitch has Cerda, Gutierrez, and Gomez in there for defense. And two very talented defenders, might I add. The extra attacker for the Express has it, looking to thread it through, and they get it! There's the equalizer, Hernandez with a goal. Miguel Angel Fuertes Hernandez, who spent some time in Austria for RB Salzburg, Querétaro, and over in Freiburg in Germany, has the equalizer. 4-4 is now the score. So next goal wins for either side. Nervous time here, folks, for both teams. Anytime that bumpy pitch has gone up, La Mexicana Express has found an answer and found their way back. It was 3-0 at one point. It is now 4-4 here in target score time. Pass into Borja. Borja more than likely going to go to Gonzalez. So, this game's been a lot of fun. Said it the other day, what's better than soccer? More soccer. We got plenty more action happening on this field at the conclusion of this one. Although I hope they give me a break, because my voice tires out just as the legs of these players on this pitch. Borja with Kashenko in front of him. Okay. Now we're down at 2v2. Haven't seen too many 2v2s here on Field 4. That's not to say they haven't happened. I think I've only seen one 2v2 here in the 11 or 12 games I've called. And now at this point, I've even lost track of how many games I've done. Okay, so bumpy pitch is going to have it. So it's Gonzalez and Espinosa with a wide open goal. That goal, 6.5 feet tall, 18.5 feet wide, and it is unmanned. Espinosa. Gonzalez. Back to Espinosa. This is actually a lot of fun to watch. Espinosa. Looking to carve up Rubio. Rubio all over Espinosa as he gets it into Gonzalez. Gonzalez momentarily with a 1v1. Pass in. Espinosa with space. Settling in on it. Punches it away. That ball has some distance. Does it have some range? It does not. This is what makes target score time fun, folks. It's chaos. It's calamity. It's a rainy day. But if you're not having fun, you don't have a pulse. It's still Gonzalez. Martinez, the defender. The shot! Charlie Gonzalez! Let's call you Charlie! Golazo! Charlie Gonzalez with the game winner, propelling bumpy pitch to a score of 5-4. Bumpy pitch wins their second in the Group H matchups. And what a great game. This was exciting. This was fun. This was action-packed. It was wet. It was wild. We lost power on the scoreboard. We lost power on the broadcast. But what we haven't lost is the excitement of this fantastic tournament called the TST. Your final score, once again, 5-4. Charlie Gonzalez, Charlie Golasso, get your golden fleece. Sponsored by Adidas, you now have a lifetime pass to attend the TST and the TBT. Folks, my name was Christian Philliman. They call me Philly, and I'll be here all day and a couple more days here in the tournament. I'm going to take a break, about 20 or so minutes. We'll be back here on Field 4 for more action. Thank you. You've been watching the TST on YouTube.